Hi, this is Haley Henderson. This is my final presentation of my whole CIT 260 class. So let's start. So a static class or method is unchanging or constant and can be accessed by all methods within the class or methods. It is defined in our code as shown with the variable max right here. Max is defined under the main game menu view class, whereas here on the second image we have a non-static instance variable, the integer population, defined within a method, and only that method is able to use that variable, as well as it is changeable. So population can change, whereas max will always stay at 5. The first image here we have an enum. Enums are a list or a collection of items. They are also constants. We made an enum of items they owned. With more cleanup, I would have divided this enum list in two, one livestock and one tools. But the second image is of an array that we used. You can see that an array has these square brackets here after the variable name, which you can put the index number in to access the individual elements, as well as a set size. You can see that where my arrow is pointing, it just is a size 6 elements in there. Arrays have an index to help access elements in the array and start at 0. Array lists are not fixed in size and are accessed a little differently. We used an array because of what we were storing. We wanted a fixed element list here, and we weren't going to be adding to it. Okay, so this is an example of code using a for loop with an index here. So first we are accessing the livestock list in the inventory item array. We had to use the for statement to grab only the livestock list, not the tools. So in our first for statement line, we define the index I variable and set it to 0, which I have circled there. Because I know the livestock list is the first 3 indexes, I only wanted to run through this statement 3 times, so I had a check in place, which is I is less than 3. Then each time the loop got ran again, it would add 1 to the I variable, and I used that variable and put it into the index call to access that index number element, as you can see right here. And and you know, this code is wrong in the way it is written, but it hasn't been fixed yet. It's creating the list every time it is in the loop, so that needs to take out and replaced with a get items, but the for statement is working as it should. Now if I was to have used a for each, it's just a little different. It says for each element in the array do something, and then it doesn't really go through the index per se, it just reads all elements. Okay. Here are my error exception examples. So first we created a new exception class for each control layer. Well, I didn't show that right here, but we did create a new exception class in the control layer. And we then created an error view layer, and that's the first code right here. And this, it uses the print writer to display an error every time the error is caught. The second image is our custom our custom error message that will fill into our error message in the error view. So you can see how it calls the error view, and here's our little message right here into that. This image shows the try and catch error handling. It uses an error message that's already in Java, that comes with Java, and it tries to, right here, as it tries to get the saved game. If it doesn't load, it catches it, and a Java error exception EX it will display it in the error view display we set up. So that will get thrown to the user, or in essence. Okay, so character and byte streams. A stream is a way to access a file. So a byte stream goes byte by byte, while a character stream can read all characters and not just individual bytes. And here's my example of a character stream. I'm using the file writer to write to an external file. So I define the variable for the data stream, which is the out file, using file writer type. Then I use that out file to print to the external file. And some of this code does need to be fixed as well, because I need to use get string input to get the user's file name to save the report. But you can see that the out file writes the title and the description, and then to finish that, we see that we close the file and make sure that it's closed by doing a try and catch on the error. Another example we used was in the save game method to get the file name from the user, and then in the game control, let's see, right here in the game control, we use the file input stream and object input stream to open and write the save game to the file. And now I'd like to run my program a little. So here we are at the very first with our little banner displayed, and it says enter your name, so I will enter it. And then oops, so let me try to, so you can see it all here. Okay, so it took our name, and then it's saying enter a number where we'd like to go. So I'd like to start a new game. And then it brings up the game menu. So let's manage crops. So this is just kind of the status of what we have. And asks us how many crops of new land do we want to sell. So I'll just say 30. Success, and then it tells us how much we have left and how many acres of new land do you want to buy. So I'll say 20. And so that met it, and maybe we'll try to catch an error right here. How many bushels of grain do you want to give to the people? So I currently have like 2884, so I'll just say 3,000. Sorry, you only have 2,884 available. Please try again. So it kept us in there in that same method, so I'll just say 300. And then it says success. And how much do you want to plant with seed? And I'll say 10. And how much do you want to harvest? 21. And now it brings us back to the game menu so that we could view the map, view the list, or move to a new location. This is here's the list. Which list would you like to view? Livestock. And then there we go. And so we still have a lot that we could, because that obviously ended it for us where we should have just gone right back in. But it did list the livestock and give us a total of how many there that we own. But anyways, this has been a pleasure. I've learned a lot, and thank you.